10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Hello everyone. We are trying something new here this week on the Rebels. We're going to be doing a round-robin story with topics suggested by you viewers. We're hoping to make it a regular feature where each of us will continue the story from where the previous person left off. This week's topic was suggested by TheFlapper, and it was Leprechauns versus Vampires. Yeah, I know. Are you ready? I'm so glad I got to start this one, really. Puck stepped into the assembly room and froze. Below him were more of his kind than he had ever seen gathered in any one place at any one time. Clans from all 4 provinces were represented: the Flynns of Clare, the Moynahans of Armagh, the dreaded O'Byrnes of Wicklow. A rowdy, cantankerous, seething mass of his folk crammed into the great hall of Seamus O'Donnell's palace. It was a sight no mortal had witnessed in over 50 human years. Puck swallowed hard. He should have listened to his mother and stayed behind. Still, it wasn't wise to disobey Uncle Finn. A firm hand gripped his shoulder. "This way, laddie," Uncle Finn said. Puck forced his legs to obey and allowed his uncle to guide him to an empty table near the front of the hall. The boisterous crowd stilled and parted in front of Puck, though he had no illusions this show of deference was on his account. As the elder clansman for Galway and elected magistrate for the province of Connacht, Uncle Finn and his delegation held a place of honor at such gatherings. 200 pairs of eyes stared at Puck as he stumbled up the stairs and took a seat at the far end of the table. He fixed his gaze firmly on the knotted oak tabletop and wished he'd inherited his mother's gift for invisibility. "Good to see ye, Finn Fahey." A hush spread through the room. Puck's eyes shot up. Seamus O'Donnell, head magistrate, had taken his place at the podium. He stood a full 2 inches taller than any man in the room, and his thick, dark mane of black curls, so common among the Ulster clans, gave him the illusion of being even taller. Uncle Finn inclined his head. "Aye, ye as well, Seamus." Seamus cleared his throat, jutted out his chin, and rapped a gavel against his podium. "This meeting will come to order," he said, his voice echoing through the now silent hall. "I suppose ye all know why you've been called here." A low rumble rippled through the crowd, and Puck watched a sea of green-hatted heads nod in affirmation. "Well, 'tis time we came to a decision," Seamus continued, "as to what we be wanting to do about—" "We know what we be after, Seamus." Uncle Finn sat cool and collected, stumpy fingers laced across his ample belly. "'Tis ye that don't be agreeing." Puck bit his lip as he watched Seamus O'Donnell blush scarlet from neck to hairline. "I think you're being a bit rash, Finn." "Rash?" Uncle Finn laughed. He pushed his chair back and ambled to his feet. "Rash? This has gone on long enough. We won't be overshadowed by them bloodsuckers any longer." Seamus narrowed his eyes. "I'd hardly go as far as to say they've overshadowed us." "Wouldn't ye now? Have ye seen the latest numbers?" Finn snapped his fingers, and his secretary hauled an enormous leather notebook onto the table. With deft movements, he flipped to a page 2/3 of the way in. Uncle Finn bent his head close and read from the ledger. "Book sales, 35 million. Movie revenue, 600 million. Merchandising, 1 billion euro. He slammed the book closed with a dramatic thwap. "Do you know how many pots of gold that is?" The murmuring crowd swelled. "They're showing them freaks as sparkly lovers, flying through forests and changing into pretty little animals and whatnot. Meanwhile, we haven't had a decent hit since Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's unholy, I tell ye." Seamus slapped his hand down on the podium. "Well, what would you have me do, Finn? Do you want us to sparkle?" Uncle Finn scanned the room, his beady eyes deliberately moving from one clan to the next until they landed on Seamus. His brows drew together, and a darkness settled over his features like a northern storm about to break across Barnaderg Bay. "What do I want?" Uncle Finn said at last. "War." So tune in tomorrow when Hannah will be attempting to continue that. I'm sure it'll be really interesting what she comes up with. A reminder, we have next week off, so I will be back in 2 weeks with more fun.